Hey everyone, in this video we're going to take a 10,000 foot look at how we integrate Thrivecart for our checkouts and Podia for our course fulfillment. So what we do first is we're using Thrivecart as our landing page, our purchase, and our checkout. And the reason that we're not using Podia as our landing page, purchase, and checkout, which it can do, is because I find that the checkout process in Podia is really difficult to work with. It's multiple steps. And in the past, I just see drop-offs there. That could be me, but I do see drop-offs in the flow, in the steps in the cart, whereas Thrivecart, I see a little bit less of that. In addition, two other big things. Big thing number one is that Thrivecart really lets you customize the heck out of that landing page in terms of giving you code, landing page, purchase page, letting you add specific code to that page in detail. If you want to add, pop-up, if you want to add anything you want, especially other analytics kind of tracking, it's really, really good. Podia is much more limited, and I don't love that part of it. The other thing is that Thrivecart has its own integration with the Facebook conversion API, which is huge. Because otherwise the conversion API, it's not for the faint of heart. There are services you can use to make it a heck of a lot easier. I'm sure there are plenty of videos on YouTube that'll show you that. But to be able to just do it pretty easily here in Thrivecart without an extra expense is awesome. So let's talk about the workflow. So what we do is we have a Thrivecart page. It's our landing page, our purchase page, our checkout. Now, the Facebook pixel that we're using there is page view and add to cart. Thrivecart knows in the sense that, you don't have to set up custom events. As long as you have your pixel installed, when there's a page view or an add to cart, Thrivecart will automatically send that information to Facebook, which is awesome. Same thing with the purchase. Now, I'm not sure if the purchase event actually happens here on the checkout page or it's processed. I'm sure it happens here. I would guess that because not every resulting purchase has a thank you page. For example, we might say on purchase, send it to to Podia, to our course page, or send it somewhere. So, but somewhere in here, Thrivecart is sending the information to the purchase pixel, the purchase event to the pixel in Thrivecart, in Facebook. Now, in order to get Thrivecart to talk to Podia, we need to use Zapier, or Zapier, however you want to call it. And so we have an automation in there, or a Zap, so that we go in there, and when there is a sale for this product X, whatever it is, in this case, it's our Google My Business citation building local SEO course. In this case, it's our local SEO training for agencies course, Google My Business, Google Business Profile, and citation building. And so we find that course, the landing page in Thrivecart, and then we say anyone who purchased that product gets to please add them to the course in Podia. And then once they're registered in Podia, which is pretty quick, Podia will send an email to the user with the login info, which is awesome. And so on our thank you page, it says, thank you so much for your purchase, blah, 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 blah. Please check your email for a link from Podia, a registration link, so you can get started and access your course materials. And Podia does, so we're using, in this instance, for this course, we're using ConvertKit. It's inexpensive, and I happen to like it for this kind of lightweight work. So what will happen is we set up Podia so that to connect this course to ConvertKit. And so in ConvertKit, we already set up a list, and it said local SEO course. And so what happens is when Zapier adds this user, this purchaser, to the course in Podia, number one, Podia sends an email to that user, and Podia also sends this person's information to our proper list or proper tag. Sorry, HubSpot does lists, ConvertKit does tags, to our tag in ConvertKit that matches the product, which is pretty cool as well. So what we've done is we've taken a purchase landing page in Thrivecart with the proper pixel information. We've got a thank you page. We add the user to Podia. All automated. Have a great day. And then if you'd like, what you can do from here is go to ConvertKit, and you can go ahead and start doing an automation sequence, a welcome sequence, which I think is great. A week later or the next day, hey, you purchased our course. Were you able to log in okay? Then 3 days later, you purchased the course. Now that you've had a chance to log in, hey, did you check out, this first? It's really important to know X, Y, and Z. And if you haven't logged in yet, here's the login, blah, 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 blah. And that way you stay engaged with your purchasers. Now, what happens if, for whatever reason, we did not make it that far? That someone came and they actually didn't purchase our product. So what we do is we set up a pop-up. And what's, again, one of the good things about Thrivecart, it's easy to add code. For us, we use OptinMonster or ConvertKit can do it also. It just, again, it doesn't matter. Like in this whole workflow, obviously, conceptually, you could use any kind of checkout product that you want with any kind of registration or any kind of learning platform that you want. You don't have to use ConvertKit. This is just what we use for our agency, and these things all work together nicely. But if you're using, HubSpot or some other product, it works pretty similarly. The only question is going to be is, what does Podia integrate with directly? I know they don't integrate directly with HubSpot, so what you'd have to do is the Zap would add the course in Podia, the user, and then you'd also have to have a Zap that adds the person to HubSpot. Whatever, not a big deal. So over here, though, if they didn't buy the product, and they might not, what we want to do is we want to capture their email or capture them. So what we'll do is we'll have an exit pop-up that says, hey, it's not going to say this exactly. Give us your email and we'll send you a link to preview the course. Awesome. One of the cool things about Podia is that you can set certain lessons in a course to allow you to make certain them free. Now, what I don't want, though, is I don't want someone to be able to go to our course list, pick this course, and see the free previews. I don't want to do that. And I don't want to sell it through Podia. So what we're going to do is we turn the course off in Podia, and that we adjust the settings so that, A, if I give you a direct link to that page and you're not registered, you can see the free course, the free samples in the course, and you can't go any further. And if you are registered for the course, you can log into our regular Podia portal, or you can go to that link and you can log in and access your course. So what I don't want to do is just say, well, if you're not ready to buy, here's a link that you can see the course. I don't want to do that. What I want to do, though, is say, if you would like to see and preview the course, well, give us your email so we can send you the link. So again, here we use ConvertKit. Doesn't matter what you use. So what will I say looks for the tag, because what we do is you can set it up in OptinMonster or ConvertKit. It depends just how you want to do it, but to tie it in, if it's OptinMonster, to say, hey, when this person registers, send it to ConvertKit and send it to and add this tag, or in ConvertKit itself, add this tag. So when I say looks for a tag, you're going to use an automation. And so when the automation sees that someone has added to tag, let's say, I'm just going to call it course preview or a GMB course preview, then it will send an automation. And that ought to start an automation that's going to say, hey, user, thank you so much for being interested in our course. And here is the link for you to access your free preview. Perfect. So and then we'll add a tag preview email sent, so we know that they got an email sent to them already. And then from there, you could do another workflow, another automation that says, you've had a chance to look at the course. It's really, really awesome. How about a 5% off coupon to get you to buy today? Or here's one of the advantages, or here are the things that you can do. Generally you want to send for this kind of nurture, you'd like to do number 1, here's a feature. Number 2, here's a feature. Number 3, here's an offer. Number 4, feature. Number 5, feature. Number 6, offer. And that's something that you can do. It's fairly standard stuff. And we have a complete registration pixel there. Now, why do I care about that? Because I want to be able to tag these different people at the level of their interaction with us in our funnel. Now, over here, just so you know, if we make a sale directly in Podia and you have the course configured to link to ConvertKit or whatever it is, then whatever they purchase will link directly to the integration. In that, if I happen to sell our Looker Studio organic template, and I'm only selling that through, and I'm not selling it through Thrivecart, and I just happen to be selling that one through Podia, with their integration, it will automatically add that person to ConvertKit as the product. And you can look and see what other tools it integrates with for Podia if you want to do that. So custom audiences. Now that I have this pixeled information, what am I going to do with it? Well, I want to make custom audiences. So the first custom audience is going to be all page views for the product. And 90 days is usually pretty good. Depending, maybe you'll do 180, doesn't matter. But let's say 90 days. So I want a page view for all of the people who visited our landing page so I can retarget them later. And what that means is if you visited the page, you're going to get pixeled, so to speak. So that way I can say to Facebook, okay, I want to take all the people in this custom audience who viewed my landing page and I want to send them, this ad. Now, but what happens if these are people who have completed a registration or purchased? Well, let's talk about that. So if you want to retarget people who just viewed the page and did nothing else, well, you would say, I want to, when you set up the ad, you'd say include the audience of all page views, but exclude anybody who completed the registration, exclude anybody who did add to cart, and exclude anybody who made a purchase. So this way, and again, you don't have to per se. You might say for page views, completed registrations, you know what, you've showed interest in our product, so here's some cool things about it you might want to check out, buy it now. Or you might want to say, for all the people who have viewed a page, not done the registration, not added to the cart, not made a purchase, say, hey, page view people, you didn't make a purchase, but you know what? We can offer you, the preview to the course. Obviously, I don't want to send people who've already downloaded the preview or accessed the preview a page, the same ad, because they've already seen it. So maybe for people who have done a page view but have not completed a registration, so people who have, so here are the audiences. This is why it gets cool. Anyone who viewed the page. And I also want, but people who did not complete a registration, people who did not make a purchase. And let's say people who did not add to the cart. What I want to do is now I want to send them something that says, check this out, here are some benefits. Now, for the people who completed the registration, different audience. This is a slightly warm audience. So I'm going to say, you've had a chance to look at the freebie. Now, here's a video that shows you a little bit more of the course. Or buy it now. You know how great we are and what we can offer you. Buy the course. Now, add to cart, you can say, you added, send them an ad. You added this to the cart, but you didn't make a purchase. Don't forget, what you left something in your cart kind of approach. So you can see here, I don't want to send you left something in your cart messages to completed registration or page view people, and I don't want to send you've seen the preview, but you haven't made a purchase yet. Well, that wouldn't make any sense for the page view people because they haven't. So that's how you can break this up, and so you can have complete. So all the page views, minus completed, minus add to cart, minus purchasers, hey, check out our product again. Then all the people who completed the registration, hey, check out our product because you saw the preview. Now check out how awesome we are. All the add to cart people, hey, you left something in your cart. And all the purchasers, you might want to say a generic ad. Google My Business is one of the growing sources of revenue for agencies around the world because everyone needs a Google My Business page, and citations are really important. And after all, isn't all small business local? Something like that. Well, for that, I might want then all my page view people, all my completed registration people, all my add to cart people, because of a general ad, but I don't want to send it to the purchasers because they've already purchased, so I don't want to bother them. Now, so while that was cool, the next super cool thing we're going to do is with these audiences, you can now do lookalike audiences. Because what I want to know now is, for all the people who completed the registration, those are people who are really interested. They've given me their email address. So they're clearly interested in what I have to offer in this product. So what I also want to do is have Facebook make me a lookalike audience of those people, once I get enough data in the pixel, because these are people who would likely buy. Same thing with add to cart, separate retargeting audience, separate lookalike audience, and purchasers. Same thing. This is gold. Because if you get, a couple of hundred, couple of thousand purchases, you can generate a lookalike audience. Then you really have, Facebook does a great job of getting that data together. So this is our overall workflow. The steps, you can find a lot of the information for the steps on Facebook, on YouTube. And again, it's also really going to depend upon what specific software you're using. Of course, the custom audiences, this is the same no matter what you're going to do. But if you want to use, Thrivecart with Podia, this is the way to do it. If you haven't, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. And if you have any questions, pop them in the comments for me. I'd be really interested to see what you think about this and what questions you have and what I might be missing that we could do better.